WXII 12 News at 6 starts right now.
A 16-year-old and their dog have died after an early morning shooting in the Triad. What we have learned so far and the questions that still remain. Plus, Virginia's new congressional maps not moving forward. The legal battle over last month's referendum and what comes next. And some Triad students may be in a new school next year. The new boundary maps being proposed and how many families this could be impacting. First at 6, we're working to learn more about a deadly shooting that claimed the life of a 16-year-old and his dog. It happened yesterday on New Walkertown Road in Walkertown. Authorities have not said what led to the shooting and no suspect information has been released at this time. Deputies say this remains an ongoing investigation. Anyone with information related to the case is asked to call 911. To Greensboro, police say an officer and 2 others were hospitalized after a crash earlier today. This happened around 2:30 a.m. at the intersection of East Cone Boulevard and North O. Henry Boulevard. Police say the officer was responding to a call for assistance when they collided with another vehicle at the intersection. The officer, the driver of the other car, and a passenger were all taken to the hospital. Guilford County EMS confirms one person suffered serious injuries. Another person was critically injured. There have been no updates on the officer's condition. An Asheboro man has died after he was found unresponsive in Florida. Officials there say Edward Stills was swimming off Marvin Key off the lower Keys when he was found. Initial reports revealed that Stills dove into shallow water. Authorities say they do not suspect foul play in this case. And taking a look at the forecast now, a live look over Winston-Salem, where it's a gorgeous day out there. Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope joining us now. The sun's been out today, Lainey, but it is a bit cooler than it was.
Oh yeah, you know, temperatures out there this morning with frost and freeze across the area in the 30s. Look at 32 in Wilkesboro, 36 in Galax this morning, 36 at PTI Airport in Greensboro, some low 30s, upper 20s from Martinsville, Reedsville, Danville. Now temperatures out there today are running in the mid 60s, which is about 10 degrees below our average high. We do have a beautiful day. We've got some sunshine, some nice breezes out there. Looking north and west, you do see a front and there are several disturbances with at least a little bit of rain. Most of that is going to miss us to the north, unfortunately. If you've got some evening plans, we'll be dry with clear skies. Temperatures will be in the 50s, so it'll be comfortably cool. Tomorrow morning is pretty chilly, not quite as cold as it was out there this morning, but prepare for some low 40s as we start the day. We do have clear skies for your Monday. We're going to warm up this week. We also have some shower chances ahead this week, and we'll look ahead at the Mother's Day weekend.
Thank you, Lainey. A man who has claimed his innocence for the last 4 decades will be released from prison tomorrow morning. 63-year-old Charles McNair was granted parole by the North Carolina Post-Release Supervision and Parole Commission. McNair was 16 years old when he was accused of breaking into the Davidson County home of a white woman in her 50s and raping her. He pled guilty but has maintained his innocence. In the last 46 years, he's been in numerous state prison facilities, a case his advocates say is a decades-long wrongful incarceration. Last year, Lexington Police Chief Robbie Rummage wrote to the governor asking for clemency on McNair's behalf. Rummage says he is glad to hear he's now being released. He wrote in a statement, quote, "I believe the correct decision was made. Writing the letter was a personal choice as I felt it was the right course of action based on the objective facts outlined within it." North Carolina transportation leaders will hold a bridge dedication ceremony tomorrow in honor of Greensboro Police Sergeant Dale Nix. He was shot and killed in December of 2023 while trying to stop a robbery at a gas station. Tomorrow's ceremony begins at 2 p.m. at the Sandy Ridge Road ramp off I-40 in Colfax. A sign will also be dedicated in his honor. Right now, authorities are searching for 2 U.S. service members who were reported missing in southwest Morocco. U.S. Africa Command said the service members were taking part in this year's African Lion military exercise. They were reported missing near the training area. The U.S., Morocco, and other countries participating in the African Lion exercise have launched a search and rescue operation, including ground, air, and maritime assets. To the latest now on the war with Iran, President Trump is reviewing a new peace proposal from Iran. The reported 14-point plan is a response to a U.S. proposal, although Trump said on Saturday evening he can't imagine any plan from Iran, quote, would be acceptable. Iran has virtually shut down the Strait of Hormuz, a key waterway where normally 20% of the world's oil is transported. In response, the U.S. has had a blockade on Iranian ports. Last week, the Senate rejected another war powers resolution aimed at restricting Trump's war powers for any future military action in Iran. On today's edition of Meet the Press, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche reaffirms the Trump administration is not violating any laws.
Limits to what President Trump can do, and he's never said there aren't limits. He's acting within his duty to the American people to keep us safe. He's not engaged in a popularity contest when it comes to what we're doing in Iran. He is doing something that will save us for generations, and so he's doing something again that every president since Reagan has said that we should do, and he's the only one willing to do it.
The ongoing conflict continues to impact prices at the pump. According to AAA, the national average for a gallon of regular gas right now is $4.45, 37 cents higher than the statewide average. The most expensive gas in our area is in Davie County. They're averaging around $4.15 per gallon there. The cheapest can be found in Davidson County at $4 a gallon. And the Virginia Board of Elections will not certify the results from last month's special election. That decision coming down Friday, which is also the first day candidates could file to run for Congress and choose which districts to run in. The main holdup here is the Supreme Court upholding a ruling that the referendum to redraw congressional lines favoring Democrats in a 10-to-1 map is unconstitutional and blocks the vote certification.
We're living in unique times, and whatever happens, you're 133 localities with their general registrars and their staffs have had to be prepared and able to do whether it goes yay or nay.
It's currently not known yet when the state's high court will make its official ruling. So far, Texas, Missouri, North Carolina, and Ohio have all changed their maps in favor of Republicans, while California's benefit Democrats. Utah, a judge drew boundaries that could also favor Democrats. Right now, Republicans hold a very fragile majority in the House of Representatives. The GOP could gain 9 seats from new maps nationwide, while Democrats believe they could add 10. Students in Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools may attend a different school during the 2027-2028 school year. District leaders are weighing a plan to redraw and implement new residential boundaries for the first time in more than 30 years. WXII 12's Kelly Kendall brings us inside those discussions and what comes next.
This isn't so much about maps anymore as much as about implementing the maps.
Those maps are Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools' residential boundaries, which determines which school a child attends based on where they live.
This work is necessary maintenance on out-of-date boundaries that will aid in any future changes to the landscape of our district.
The district received a 2-year federal grant to redraw its boundaries to improve transportation and socioeconomic diversity in schools. After several drafts and community feedback, the results are these changes to elementary, middle, and high school boundaries to be implemented for the 2027-2028 school year. Student Assignment Director Frank Pantano says 11.7% of student addresses would be rezoned. Families would be notified by October of this year and then have options.
No students would be forced. They'd all have a seat at their current school, and they'd be able to opt in to stay in that seat. However, they would need to provide their transportation.
This comes after the district stopped providing choice transportation to students as a cost-saving measure in the midst of last year's budget crisis.
Many of the students that are being rezoned to a school are actually being rezoned to the school that they're already choicing to. 70% of those students are going to the school that they were choicing to. So we're actually giving transportation back to some families.
Board members asked several questions about the plan, but did not vote on it or the maps during the meeting, meaning changes are not set in stone yet. In Winston-Salem, I'm Kelly Kendall for WXII 12 News.
And the Board of Education will have its next regular meeting next Tuesday, May 12th. The Eastern Festival of Music, formerly known as the Eastern Music Festival, is back in Greensboro this weekend, and it kicked off earlier today at Guilford College with a free concert at Dana Auditorium. This comes ahead of the festival's summer program beginning in late June. Organizers say it will feature 35 performances and include more than 220 students from all around the world.
Healthcare is changing regularly, and this allows EMS technicians to stay on that cutting edge.
Coming up, Battle of the Badge, why dozens of North Carolina paramedics are competing in the triad and how soon a winner could be crowned.
And the Canes get it done in Game 1 against the Flyers. We're breaking down what's going right for the top seed in the East. Plus, cars are on the track as we speak in Texas. We'll have your latest leaderboard coming up in sports.
It is a big day for Winston-Salem as the city hosts the annual North Carolina EMS Expo for the first time. Part of this event includes the 34th annual North Carolina Paramedic Competition. WXII 12's Joshua Davis takes us to the Benton Convention Center to see the teams compete.
It's chaos in an instant. What you're looking at is paramedics competing in the 24th annual North Carolina Paramedic Competition, where 6 groups from across the state compete for the title of top paramedic team during the annual North Carolina Emergency Medical Services Expo.
Yeah, it's critical to EMS professionals to make sure that there's a lot of procedures that they know how to do, but they're high acuity, but they're low volume. You know, they don't do them very often, and so they need to stay proficient in those skills.
Tom Mitchell is the section chief for the state's Office of Emergency Medical Services. He says for the last 37 years, the expo has served to educate and equip paramedics with the knowledge and tools they need to serve their communities.
It's extremely important to be able to, you know, one, to be able to learn, but two, to be able to network with people that you traditionally don't network with. And so, you know, there are people here from all over the state, and so they get a chance to learn and to talk with them.
The competition isn't just bragging rights. It's learning to work under pressure in an ever-evolving situation. Representing the Piedmont Triad, paramedics from Surrey County and Alamance County are competing. Mackenzie Bird, who's been working as a paramedic for 5 years, says it's an opportunity to prepare for the real thing.
Sometimes it does take a little bit of tunnel vision you have to be aware of your surroundings, but you also have to focus on your patient and what they need and whether there's any other patients that need your help too.
Her teammate, Matthew Brooks, says it's their first time competing at this level, but the focus is always on preparing and training for that next call.
That's one of the great things about being here with the other teams is seeing how they function, their ideas and thought processes when it goes into scenes and calls and patient care. To be able to relay some of that, to be able to take things home to your peers.
In Winston-Salem, I'm Joshua Davis for WXII 12 News.
While all the teams competed today, the winner won't be announced until Tuesday night, and we'll bring you that update in this story on our web article on WXII12.com. Tomorrow is May the 4th, which is also known as Star Wars Day. The Winston-Salem Dash got an early start to the celebration during today's game against the Greensboro Grasshoppers. The Dash hit the diamond with specialty Star Wars jerseys, and additionally, fans were able to visit the Droid Depot, join the Batuu bounty hunt, and meet special characters along the way.
It's kind of like really fun for us nerds, you know, we get out and dress up and just have fun, and can watch some baseball. I love seeing the little kids, the little kids that watch the new Star Wars, they don't realize how cool the old ones were when we were kids, so it's really neat, yeah.
The Dash is back at Truist Stadium next week against the Wilmington Blue Rocks. That's a fun time out there, Lainey, and they had perfect weather for that.
Absolutely. It was a gorgeous afternoon, and yeah, tonight's going to be nice too if you've got some evening plans. It will get a little bit cooler though once that sun goes down, but we've had a lot of sun out there today, and hopefully you got out to enjoy it. You're taking a look there at North Wilkesboro. You can see the flags moving about. There is a little bit of a breeze out there, but boy, this morning we started off near freezing in Wilkes County, and there were a lot of 30s across the area. Now, it's not going to be as cold this week. In fact, our weather headlines do have us warming up this week. As for rain chances, we missed most of it on Saturday. We've got another opportunity for rain Wednesday and Thursday, and then it looks like it's going to stay mild heading into the Mother's Day weekend. Right now, we had high temperatures that were in the mid-50s in Sparta. We got up to 54, 59 in Galax, 62 was the high in Winston-Salem, 66 in Burlington, and 68 in Lexington. And you look at those temperatures right now, still sitting in the mid to upper 60s across the area, but they will drop pretty quickly. And even those 60s, they were about 10 degrees below average. And look at that morning low at 36. Our average morning temperature is 53, and we were not too far from breaking that record of 35 degrees from 1981. Now, high temperatures are actually going to reach up close to 80 degrees the early part of this week, and then they'll come more in line with what is normal as we head into next weekend. Rain chances, like I said, middle part of the week. We've got a few showers possible on Wednesday, maybe isolated thunder. Right now, it looks like our best chance to get any rain will come on Thursday, and we do desperately need it. If you go back to October 1st, we have only had 52% of our normal rainfall. It has been the driest in history. That's why we are seeing that drought so bad across the area. In fact, the worst there's been since 2008. So we had just over 12 inches since October, and that is about 11 inches below normal. You see the drought levels, extreme has expanded, exceptional now too across the area. And even though we've had a little bit of rain here and there, we still need much more. You can see that extreme drought that is stretching from Mocksville all the way up to Yanceyville. Also, as far as the rain from Saturday, we really didn't see anything. We were worried about this happening. It's sort of just skirting us just to the south and to the east. So parts of southern Davidson, Randolph, and Alamance County picking up a trace to 1/10 of an inch. These are the counties that are going to remain in the burn ban. So not enough rain over the weekend. Most of the rain was well to the east from Myrtle Beach up to Hatteras, Raleigh, Columbia, easily seeing 1/2 of an inch to even 1 inch of rain in some of these communities. And of course, everybody across the Carolinas is in need of some measurable rain. We've got dry skies out there right now. You look north and west, we're going to keep track track of these little waves that are going to come down in that northwesterly flow. They're going to come real close to the North Carolina-Virginia border. So as we go through the overnight hours, most of this should stay to our north. I've added a small chance tomorrow in the mountain communities, but I don't think anything holds together east of the mountains. We'll see mainly sunny skies for your Monday. Temperatures should get from about 43 up to about 78 by tomorrow afternoon, thanks to a southwest wind. Also should get us into the upper 70s in the foothills with that southwest wind, and in the mountains 42 tomorrow morning. Small rain chance, high temperature about 72. Again, here's your 7-day forecast. It shows the winds picking up in the warmest days Tuesday and Wednesday. Best chance of rain right now could be on Thursday.
You're watching WXII 12. And now, the Modern Automotive Sports Report.
The Carolina Hurricanes continue to prove while they're at the top of the East. The Canes took down the Flyers in an opening shutout to kick off round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, while many were concerned that the week off could have hurt Carolina, that certainly wasn't the case. Logan Stankoven scored under 2 minutes into the game before Jackson Blake added to it under 6 minutes later. Stankoven's 2 goals in the series opener marks 6 so far in just 5 playoff outings. This while Freddie Anderson sets a team record for the most playoff wins in Hurricanes history, doing so in shutout fashion.
I think it just goes back to how many chances I've had throughout the season to score, and these guys setting me up and hitting posts or goalies making good saves, and now I think I felt like since the Olympic break things have started to turn and pucks have started to go in, and I think as a player I've been learning what areas of the ice to find to get shots off, and I think that just in time things change, and I feel like I've been able to develop as a player and as a person.
Now with the series advantage, Game 2 in Raleigh will be Monday at 7 o'clock before the action heads to Philadelphia. If a Game 5 is needed, that will be played the following Monday, May 11th, back at the Lenovo Center. It's series finale Sunday at Truist Stadium in an all-triad battle between the Hoppers and the Dash. Greensboro leads the series 3-2, trying to close things out on Star Wars Day. Bottom of the third, Hoppers are up 3-1. Winston-Salem trying to get one back, but it's a 6-5-4 double play to end the inning for the Hoppers. Back with the bats, runner on first. Charlene Polanco ropes one through the right side. Sammy Safura will turn on the Jets to come sliding into home and extend the lead. Jake Peppers taking over on the mound, trying to get out of a jam. He gets the strikeout, but Greensboro's not done yet, rolling with 2 outs. Edward Floriento will get every bit of this one over the right field wall as the Hoppers close out the series, winning 8-6 the final. The High Point Rockers scored 12 unanswered runs Sunday to take down the Blue Crabs 13-3. This is now the team's first 3-game winning streak of the season. They'll be back at Truist Point against the Revolution Tuesday night. The Wake Forest men's tennis team is headed back to the Super Regionals. The defending national champs swept both matches this Sunday to now host the Supers next Friday against UCF. NASCAR heads to the Lone Star State this weekend. Carson Hocevar starts on the pole. This after he won last week in Talladega and won Friday's Truck Series race. Here's where things stand with 40 laps to go. Corey Heim is leading the pack with Chase Briscoe on his tail. Eric Jones won Stage 1 for his first stage victory in the Cup Series. Chase Elliott won Stage 2. We'll have a full race recap later on tonight. And that's all for sports. We'll be back after the break.
All right, here's a look at our 7-day forecast, where we are warmer tomorrow. In fact, close to 80 degrees Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We also have a chance for a few showers coming up this week. We got a small chance on Wednesday. We think a little bit of a better chance on Thursday. Nothing is a guarantee right now. In this drought, we desperately need the wet weather. So those are a couple chances at it. And then looking ahead toward the Mother's Day weekend, temperatures pretty comfortable in the mid-70s.
Yeah, not a bad week. Just got to get through a few days of rain, which we need.
Right.
The big warm-ups are always crazy, like throughout the day. It's like
Right.
you never know what you're going to get when you walk back out.
30s this morning,
Yeah.
80 tomorrow.
Right.
Crazy. Thanks for joining us here at 6. We're back in just a few minutes over on the Triad CW. We'll see you there.
Watch WXII 12 News on your phone. Breaking news, in-depth investigations, and the Triad's most trusted weather. Made to watch on mobile. Find us in your feed on social and YouTube, or stream free anytime on Very Local and the WXII 12 app.